Good day everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I will be doing an unboxing of this AIO liquid cooler coming from Tecware, known as the Mirage 240. They do have the 360, but today I will be doing the 240. Now I'll be doing the unboxing and explaining the mechanism, how it's been attached to, and to show you the ARGB of this AIO itself. Let's get into it. Let's see what's in the box. First, you're greeted with the manual, where it tells you all the instructions on how to mount the radiator, the pump. Oh, you even have a controller. I believe this is, let's see, oh, it has a ARGB and a fan controller. Okay, probably I'll take a further look on this. Then the unit itself, it comes with accessories. This is actually the controller. Accessories bag that comes with all the mounting brackets and screws. Now the unit itself. Now the pump itself. The hose are braided, nicely braided. As usual, this is protected. Before you use it, make sure you remove it. Then the pump, I believe this is where the ARGB is. And it comes with a 3-pin fan header. Oh, that's good. That's something which I like. This will normally drive the pump to run at full load. And the ARGB cable. Now, reason for me to say why it is good, because if you were to actually fluctuate the pump speed itself, right, you might damage the pump in long period of time. So I rather you set it either consistent with a PWM 4-pin connector, right. Make sure that you set the pump at a consistent rate, not fluctuating, because if it goes up and down, right, the motor itself will actually damage. Radiator itself. The standard 240 radiator, not that thick. This is about 25 mm, I believe, and two 120 mm fans, which are ARGB. That comes with fan connection. This is 4-pin PWM, where you can actually control the fan speed based on your fan curve. And this too is in fact the ARGB connection. Now on with the accessories. Now as mentioned, I will take a further look on the ARGB controller. The controller itself, right, allows you to connect up to 6 fans and 6 ARGB connection point. At the back of the controller, it allows you to actually peel this off and to tape inside your case, whereby the controller will not shift. Now, having to say so, right, all this connection point, right, though is actually drawing power from the, let me just show you, drawing power straight from the PSU itself. So it's actually from the PSU through here and through the control unit to supply the power to your fans and to your ARGB. Now, as I mentioned, right, though it's actually drawing power from your PSU itself, try not to plug too much fans into one header, especially for the ARGB itself. For example, let's say you daisy chain 4 fans to one header, right? It's not advisable to do so. Reason being, right, the amperage is very high, so it might blow your controller. Take note on this. Now, having to say so, right, these 2 cables over here, one is actually for the fan controller, or should I say the fan PWM controlling, whereby you control the RPMs and based on your fan curve. Now, this is actually to your motherboard, only to one fan header. So whatever configuration you have set to that fan header, right, the rest of the fans will just follow accordingly to just one settings itself. And you can't control individually. The other one is in fact the ARGB connection, whereby you make use of this controller to synchronize your ARGB effects using the motherboard utility if you plug this ARGB connector to your motherboard header. Now, you can also make use of this control unit itself to control the ARGB effects. All you need to do is actually from your case itself, right? If you have a reset switch, you of course will have to sacrifice that reset switch and to plug it over here. So when you plug over here, right, when you toggle the reset switch, it will change the lighting effects that is connected to this ARGB connection point. Now, on the accessories itself, it comes with a back plate for, I believe this is actually for the Intel back plate. And oh great, there is a sticker over here, so you can actually paste this at the back of your motherboard itself and you will not drop. So when you mount your pump to the bracket itself, right, this will not drop. And some AIO design, right, in fact this will drop, so you have to hold on it, hold on the pump, and I'm not so sure where you get the third finger to screw in the threads. So this is actually very good thought of. We have 3 bags here. One thing good about them is they indicate the bags by itself, telling you that this is actually for Intel mounting, this is for AMD mounting. And even on the screw, wow, that's great. It tells you that there are 2 kinds of color screws here, as you can see. One is silver, one is black. So indication over here, right, the black one is meant for your radiator, where you mount your radiator on to your casing. Then the white ones, right, is for you to fasten, or should I say the silver ones, for you to fasten the bracket on the pump itself. Just for illustration purposes, I've actually placed the back plate on this Intel board itself, so it stays there, it doesn't move. See, it doesn't drop off, as you can see. Then when you mount this, right, it will be in place. You have, you know, at least hands to actually mount the pump itself. Now for AMD users, right, there will be an issue whereby you will need to actually remove, as you can see, I've already removed off this. You're going to use the original mounting bracket, or should I say the back plate, to mount the pump on it. And if I were to lift up, see, this bracket drops off. So you will need to find a way to secure it. I would advise you don't use double-sided tape. Best is actually to use the thermal tape, which I'm going to show you later. Just give me a minute. Now this is actually what I'm talking about, the thermal tape. You don't have to actually apply a lot. Just a small piece will do, just to hold this plate on the motherboard itself. And take note that the areas that normally I will do, right, is actually to those empty areas, not with the circuitry. So you tape it on it so that this will not fall off. Then when you do the mounting, it will be easier. I will be using the AMD mounting brackets, as I'm going to use a AMD system to test this AIO. So it's pretty straightforward. Now on each side of the pump itself, right, you have this bracket over here. So there's this slot, the groove, if you can see. So what I need to do is just to place this in and to align it properly, so that you can see the screws. Then I will fasten the screws. Now this is actually done. I've actually done the brackets onto the pump itself. Next, I will just peel this off. Then one very important thing before you mount is to clean the surface. Though it's actually protected by this, but there are sticky substance over here, so make sure that you clean it with alcohol. So I'll just rub on it. Give a few passes. Make sure that it's entirely clean. Next will be the processor itself. Now again, I'll make sure that it's clean with alcohol. Just wipe the surface, make sure that it's clean. Now a lot have just applied paste and that's it. For this I will be using the original paste itself. Now something to take note, as you can see the wording Ryzen over here. Now I know that there are 3 dies in this processor itself, so basically when people do DVTing, right, you'll be able to see where the dies are. And over here, right, the big die is over here and there are 2 smaller ones over here. So basically you want to cover the whole die area, this 3, which I'm pointing to you. And my style of actually doing the thermal paste itself, right, I'm actually doing a cross section and by a few dots. So first thing I'll need to do, right, before I squash the whole thing in, right, I'll align this with all the mounting threads. Make sure that they bite. I'm still holding on to the pump itself. I'm not squashing to the processor. I just make sure that everything is in place before I place it down. I'm still holding it. Now once everything is in place, right, with equal pressure, or should I say holding the pump itself, I'll just press it down, then I'll just wiggle. You can wiggle to the side, up, down, left, right, hold on it, then do it diagonally, hand tightening. And one thing about this mounting is actually using the retention spring to bite the pump and the processor. At all times, my hands is actually on the center on the pump itself when I do the adjustment. So once I have everything in, right, then I will just do the minor tightening. And it's done. Now as you can see, it's actually running off my AMD 5900X and the ARGB is actually turned on. Now I've actually not mounted in the case, but I do have this controller whereby the first button here, the big button, is actually the power and the top is actually the reset. So I've actually connected the ARGB controller to this controller itself. So if I were to press the small button, right, to show you that it's actually, let's say it's in a case whereby you can toggle the reset switch. So if I were to do this, see, it switches color. And of course, majority of them is actually static color, nothing fancy. Now, in the event if you do not want the ARGB, right, you can totally turn off too. See, it's gonna turn off. That's it. And if you want it back on, just press the reset button again and it's back on. There you have it, the Tecware Mirage 240. In fact, I should thank a good friend of mine, Alex, who have actually provided this unit for me to play with. And while fixing his PC and to fit this AIO, I used this AIO to test on a 5900 AMD processor. It works fine. Though it's actually on an open bench test on this processor itself, right, the temperature hovers at 72 degrees Celsius, not too bad. If you guys are into good looking AIO and not to break your bank, this might be it. But do take note that if you're running an AMD system, which is a 5900 or 5950X, or even the Intel latest processors like the 1100, I wouldn't advise you to actually overclock, run by default, because at open benchmark it's hovering at 73 degrees Celsius. If your case does not have good airflow, right, you might heat up the temperature about 81 degrees, 83 degrees, and if you do overclock it, that will be even further. This has come to the end of my video. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Now, for those of you who are actually new to my channel, welcome. If you do like my content, do remember to subscribe and to hit on the notification bell button. Till then, stay safe, take care, goodbye, see ya.